So I finally reached Talavera. Now Talavera is one of the battle honours that's been bestowed upon my regiment, and I've been wanting to come here for a long time. Now I've been down and had a look at the battlefield where it all took place, and as far as I can work out from the maps and everything, it's all either been built on or it's got a motorway running through it. So from the point of view of looking at the actual battlefield itself, it's a bit of a non-starter. But I come up into the town and it looks like I'm in the old part of town. There's a church there that was built in 1783, and it's one of the only things that's left that's standing around here that was from that time. I'm not sure anything else is around here. Certainly this square that I'm in isn't. It all looks pretty new, and it's like the centre of Talavera itself. Well, I've arrived in Talavera. Now I've had a look at where the battlefield is or was, and the problem is that they've put a motorway right through it. So the actual battlefield has all been, well, mucked about. Looks like I've just picked the busiest time of day to get this bit. Now this is Plaza del Pan, and it's the most important place in Talavera's history. It's where everything happened, apparently. This guy here is A.D. Ferdinand D. Rogers D. 1470 to 1541. Oh, Ferdinand. Well, Ferdinand, so you missed the Peninsular Wars then. You got anything to say about that? So it's been a long, long ride to get here, and well, a little bit disappointed about the battlefield itself. So I stopped and had a look, and actually there's not a lot to see because it's been built on. But I did get a little bit of videoing down by the Tigris, which is the main river that runs past, and I'll get a little bit more of that as well, but that'll be on a GoPro as I drive past. So the church you see behind me was here in the time of Wellington, so I'm not sure the square was actually laid out like this. It looks like it's a little bit more modern than that, but from the church you can look down this way and you can see across the valley, across the Tigris, and the Tigris is just down the bottom there. So you can see behind me is the way down to the Tigris. Well, that bit of green is just drop down there is the actual river Tigris. There's a bridge, there's a new bridge just there, and just over that way there's another bridge which I suspect is the old bridge that was there in back in the day of Wellington. So this church dates back to 1783. So in 1809, when Wellington came through here, it must have looked pretty spectacular. So it probably looked as much as it did now, without the cars parked outside and probably a dust road, because I don't think they paved the roads back then. But travelling down here, I was surprised at the distances and the time it took to move an army. So the church here was a massive, must have been a massive sight on the horizon as you come in. Looking at this church construction, I don't know whether there's been bits added to it or whether it's as it was back in when it was first built in 1783. So just have a look around the courtyard. Look at how this has been built. I suspect that the murals there have probably been added since. But it certainly looks as though it's had some patchwork done to it. Now I'm not sure whether the building there has been was here back in the day, but yeah, it must have been quite a sight. So this is looking at a side view of the church that was built in 1783. So when Wellington got here, it was obviously finished and in full swing. You can see the bell tower up there, and I don't know whether the bit to the right is a new bit, but it certainly looks impressive. So this is the important square that had everything happen in it. It's according to the blurb, it's a central part of the centre of culture. It's a centre of Talavera. And back in the day, the church would have been here. I guess some of the buildings that they put up since weren't here, but the church almost certainly was here back in the early 1800s, and certainly in 1809 when Wellington came through here and had one of the decisive battles on the 27th and 28th of July 1809, and shortly after, worried about being outflanked, unfortunately Wellington retreated back to Lisbon. So back in 1809, this place here would have been really busy with troops coming and going. Yeah, there was an awful lot. There was 20-odd thousand British troops. There was German. I'm going to have to think about this. Who's the Germans? German Foreign Legion. And the Spanish, they were all here, and the French were just the other side of the Tigris, and they massed about 30-odd thousand. So the British was a little bit outnumbered, but they did manage to win the day. So this is the square, and this is my trusty steed that's brought me all the way here. Valladolid, and came down to the National 502. What a motorbiking road that is. Talk about twisties. It was great fun riding down there. So my bike was all loaded up. She's very heavy, but gosh, she just handled the really sweeping bends lovely. So if you get a chance and you're a motorcyclist, come and have a go at this road. Thank you. Okay, that's me now leaving Talavera. I'm just going to go down via the river to give you an idea of the sort of layout. So this is that main square where I've just been doing some videoing, and now I'm just gonna head down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cross side of the river there. You can kind of see the area that that the battle took place on. So I'm just having a look along. I'm not sure I can actually ride over that bridge. If I can, I will. And it looks as though that bridge was there at the time of Wellington. No, I can't ride over that bridge. Is a quick and simple answer. That's just a walk-over bridge. But I'm just going to do a U-ey here and then head off for Salamanca. So that looks like some of the old walled city. So yeah, this is just down from where the church is, just along from where the church is. So there's the church up there, you see. That's the one we've just been filming up in that square. And that looks like a new bridge. But the route is taking me out of town, so until later. In fact, I might just follow the river and let it see where it takes me. So we'll just have a ride along and have a look at this area. So that looks part of the old city, what's left of it anyway. They like putting little humps in the road, by the way. So the battle took place over that direction there on the 27th, 28th of July 1809. Now it would have been a week earlier had the Spanish turned up on time. The Spanish didn't. And consequently the battle was a tougher battle than it actually needed to be. Had it have been that first week when Wellington's army arrived, then things would have been a lot different. But as it was, they had to wait for the Spanish to turn up before they could start a ruck, and the Spanish turned up a week later, having already suffered a bloody nose at at the hands of the French. So this is me just leaving. Which way am I going? This one here. This is me just leaving Talavera. So as you can see, it's all been built up since the times of Wellington and his army. So I think for now I'm going to head off to Salamanca. So until later, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.